Goote, the globe's tiniest woman. There's extraordinary, and then there's once in a lifetime.
Hello, I'm Goote, the shortest woman in the world.
Let's start with Goote from India. Hi, I'm Goote. She might appear childlike, but she is actually a 31-year-old adult.
9 months, 26 years. Yes.
Just 62.8 centimeters tall. She's recognized as the planet's shortest woman. She moves through life keeping her possessions and clothing on the smaller side. But on the plus side, she gets a personal driver who handles most of the walking for her. I guess remarkable things truly do come in small packages. Sultan Kosen, the loftiest man.
Hello, I am Sultan Kosen. I am tallest man, Guinness World Record 251.
But we can't discuss Goote without mentioning this fellow. Meet Sultan Kosen, also known as the man who stands above all others. I mean, he's over 8 foot in height, which essentially makes him a human skyscraper compared to the rest of us. His frame measures a full 8 foot from head to toe, and he looms over automobiles and doorways, while his hands and feet are even larger than most people's faces. However, being that tall does have its drawbacks. There aren't many giant-sized beds around, and when he searches for a sofa that fits him, they usually fall short. It's not all bad though. At least we know who to call if we need to reach something on the highest shelf.
My body is a gift from God.
But before we proceed, remember to like if you're enjoying this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, where were we? Jeff Dabe, the arm wrestling champ.
I guess I never really worried about the titles before. It was just fun to do, but...
Introducing the real-life Popeye, Jeff Dabe, the arm wrestling champion with 4 arms you'd think were artificial. But believe me, they are genuine. And, like Lady Gaga, he was born this way. The uncommon condition that he has made his hands so large, he makes plums look like peas.
I went pick some plums this morning off my plum tree. They're really good.
He can also palm a basketball better than Shaquille O'Neal. And to top it off, he can split a watermelon open effortlessly. Remind me to invite him to my next outdoor gathering. Francisco Domingo Joaquim, the man with the broadest mouth. The phrase big mouth doesn't quite do Francisco Domingo Joaquim justice when trying to describe his jaws. In fact, I'm not even sure there's an expression in the English language that could accurately portray how wide his mouth truly is. When fully extended, it measures nearly 7 inches, which means his mouth is large enough to accommodate most items you'd find in your refrigerator. No joke, he can literally swallow a full can of soda like it's nothing. I wonder what his dental checkups are like. Zeon Clark, the limbless track star.
I study the best guys in the world and I compete against the best guys in the world. And now I'm gonna beat the best guys in the world, and that's just how I see it.
Zeon Clark can accomplish more with his upper body than most can do with their entire frames. Not only is he a world record-breaking track star who can sprint 20 meters in under 5 seconds, he also has no trouble competing with people on the mat or on the court. And he does it all using only his arms. Talk about an intense upper body workout routine. He kinda makes me feel guilty for all the time I claimed I was too exhausted for the gym. Adrianne Lewis, the woman with the longest tongue. After seeing Adrianne Lewis's abnormally long tongue, you'd swear she was part chameleon. Her tongue measures 4.5 inches long, and with it, she's able to touch her elbow, ear, and even her eye. I have a feeling this is one for the record books. Jacob Pina, the man with the longest thumb. Introducing Jacob Pina, also known as the man who could literally defeat anyone in a thumb wrestling match. His thumb is so long that you wonder if he waters it nightly. This brings up a whole new meaning to thumbs up. Amar Baratti, the man who raised his arm for 45 years. Amar Baratti was not joking when he said he was going to lift his hand to the sky and never lower it again. He did it due to his own spiritual beliefs, and I have to give him credit. When this guy set out to do something, he doesn't give up. He's been holding his arm in this position for over 45 years. Just imagine keeping your hand raised in class for longer than 5 minutes. Gary Turner, the man with elastic skin.
So I have an uncle about 10 years old, and he used to pull my skin and show his friends, and I knew by their reactions they had something strange.
Gary Turner might as well have changed his name to Mr. Fantastic, because his skin's elasticity is something I've only ever witnessed in comic book movies. And like Mr. Fantastic, Gary's mutation has become his superpower. But instead of fighting crime, he uses that ability to break records. Stretching his skin to more than 6 centimeters in length helps him perform some of the most mind-boggling feats. Ayanna Williams, the woman with stretched earlobes. Ayanna Williams' ear stretches as much as 4 centimeters, which means she can suspend objects using just her earlobes. And once she figured that out, what's the point of using her hands to paint? Paul Carrison, the Blue Man. The footage you're viewing doesn't have any special effects. Paul Carrison's skin really is blue. This all occurred after years of consuming colloidal silver, which, as you can imagine, is as hazardous as it sounds. Diana Armstrong, the woman with the longest nails. After more than 25 years, Diana Armstrong's nails are still growing, and now they're over 42 foot in length. FYI, that's half the size of a tennis court. Because of that, daily life is more challenging for Diana, considering she has to be a bit more careful when picking things up, and trips to the nail salon may take a bit longer than they used to. Don't even get me started on her ability to operate a vehicle. Jason Rodriguez Hernandez, the man with the largest feet. Meet Jason Rodriguez Hernandez, the man with feet so large they practically shake the ground with every step. Each foot measures more than 40 centimeters in length, which makes finding the right footwear nearly impossible. Hey, Nike, are you seeing this? Get this guy some bigger shoes, maybe just a size or 2 bigger. Chandra Bangi, the world's shortest man. At just over 2 feet tall, Chandra Bangi is no stranger to taking things to new heights. He's officially recognized as the world's shortest man after surpassing the previous record holder by almost 4 inches. When he received his certificate, it was almost as tall as he was. In fact, even infant clothes need to be tailored more than 50% just to fit him. Asha Mandela, the woman with the longest dreadlocks. Asha Mandela goes through life with a suit made out of a different kind of fabric.
My God, we actually ran out of tape. This is crazy, and this measure tape is 25 feet long.
While most guys boast a few stubbles or facial hair, she's sporting hair on 95% of her body. I guess it makes sense why people call her the hairiest woman in the world. Dedra Suar, the man with the most fingers and toes. Dedra Suar has 7 digits on each foot and on each hand, which gives his high fives a few extra extremities. It also makes him the record holder for the most fingers and toes on a living person. My guess is the extra finger comes in handy with all his carpentry duties. Let's just hope he's keeping track of where those extra fingers are when he's sawing wood. Jamie Katon, the man with sticky skin. Jamie Katon's rare condition makes his skin so adhesive he can turn his head into his own personal beverage holder. The number of cans this guy could stick to his dome is guaranteed to make him the life of the party. Ramiro Dos Santos Alves, the man with massive muscles. Ramiro Dos Santos Alves' supersized muscles may not be a match for SpongeBob's anchor arms, but that doesn't make them any less impressive. But in order to maintain his Hercules-like physique, Ramiro has to go the distance, which means spending hours in the gym, plus the occasional breakfast made of almost a dozen eggs. Mohammed Samir, the human owl. Mohammed Samir's abilities are guaranteed to turn some heads. At just 14 years old, he's already so flexible that he can practically rotate his head a full 180 degrees. A maneuver that would be extremely painful for the average person. Julia Gunel, the contortionist. This girl showcases her rare skill by bending a knee, but probably not in the way you're thinking. This is probably what scares people the most though, when she's just sitting normally and has her leg like that. Liu Tho Lin, the magnetic man. Liu Tho Lin is what you get when you mix a human with a fridge magnet. Except in this case, Lin's holding up things way heavier than kids' artwork. He first discovered his bizarre powers when he was a construction worker, clinging to metal objects like hammers. I wouldn't be surprised if he could magnetize the entire kitchen. I mean, he can literally pull a car by sticking a metal plate to his chest. No wonder they call him the real-life Magneto. Troy James, the human spider.
My name is Troy James. I work in human resources.
The human spider may not have 8 legs, but trust me, he's just as spine-chilling. Meet Troy James, a freakishly skilled contortionist who can move his body in ways you thought to be impossible. Suan C, the world's longest beard. Some people are born with unbelievable features, while others just prefer to grow them. That's definitely the case for Suan C, who currently holds the world record for the longest beard on a living person, about 3 meters in length. That's practically a surfboard attached to his face.